everyone. How are you? How are you? Welcome back. This is the TERRAN Lamb Show, Season 7, Episode number 10. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly, truly appreciate it. Can't wait to get my guest on here. How is everybody doing today? I'm trying to work with this light thing. So I don't know what light makes it look better because it's hard for me to see. But anyway, hopefully you can see me. So this is the TERRAN Lamb Show, Season 7, Episode 10. Thank you so much for joining me. We are here every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hello, Melissa. How are you? I gotta have you on the show, girl. Hello, Amber. So I'm gonna get my guest on, but hey, Shay. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my Cash App in the, thank you for telling me, because I don't know what this whole ring light thing, I'm getting used to it. I don't really know what it looks like on the other side. So I'm putting my Cash App in the comments. The reason I'm putting my Cash App in the comments is because anything you donate to the Cash App goes to, yes, my week is going good. And I'm not eating? Kinda, maybe a little bit. No, I'm actually being pretty good. I'm being pretty good on my eating. So I put my Cash App in the comments. Please note that it is not an official 501c3, but the donations that go to that Cash App, if you put Survivor in the comments, go directly to pay off a bill for a heart disease or cancer patient in need. So we have done that twice already. We have paid off bills for 2 cancer patients. So if you would like to, please donate whatever. It's all love and kindness goes to someone in need. I take it directly to the hospital myself and give it to a person in need, and I follow all compliance guidelines with regards to Privacy Act. So again, that is my Cash App, and if you give to that, please put Survivor in the comments, and I would truly appreciate it. And there's a patient on the other end that truly appreciates it as well, because medical bills are a lot. Okay, so let's get our guest in here today, Miss Mary Rose. Miss Mary Rose, how are you? Melissa, how's your week going? And are you eating? Here, I have that too. Mary Rose, how are you?
Hi, nice to see you.
You look amazing.
I wore my Chicago t-shirt just for you.
Awesome.
My girlfriend from Chicago.
Yes. All right, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. How have you, so for those who don't know, let me get started here. So Mary Rose was a guest, it's probably what been almost 2 years ago, Mary Rose?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago, and I'm going to let her explain to you what she does. But Mary Rose, I just want to know, really to explain to viewers what you do, number one, and then how you've kind of evolved since we talked to you last and healed, and how you're helping the community heal from various things. But share with us specifically about what you do and how you got into this, but most importantly, how you've used what you do to help yourself and others heal. And I don't want to give it away what you do, because I want you to be able to share on your own. But I know you have such a healing journey, and I think that's so important for viewers to understand.
Well, thanks. Yeah, thanks for letting me talk about it. So on Instagram, I am an artist, and I do, what I try to do for my personal community is to inspire them to do art or visualize art or look at my art and be more mindful, and to tap into music. I always use music and art as a form of expression, healing, a way to metabolize emotions, to be authentic, try to use art and music as a way to just sort of connect people and connect with people. I actually do an expressive art practice every day that involves mindfulness and meditation. And I met you after I had a really severe case of COVID-19, and I did this huge series of portraits of doctors and nurses um, after I survived it. I'm also a nurse and a diabetes educator. I work with people with chronic illness, and I myself have two chronic illnesses. And I use art on a daily basis to sort of metabolize the emotions and the
Mm-hmm.
feelings. I have a chronic pain condition. Um, so I've used art throughout my entire recovery time, probably since my mid 20s, to sort of get through problems.
Mm-hmm. How do you think, like, how did people, I'm curious to know, since we've talked last, especially with that, the painting with the nurses, how are people responding to, to healing through art and that painting specifically?
Well, that painting did really well. It went to Chicago, weirdly enough, to a big show in there, and then it was in two other visual, like media, digital media shows. Um, and I think people really loved it. They really related to it, and it was during a time when everyone was so isolated. So it was a great time for me to reach out to people. And actually, like in those 2 years after that pandemic, I connected with so many people through that series. And then I did another series about Los Angeles
Oh,
and and using, my city and the freeways and the views of the ocean and the views of the mountains from my studios as a way to connect and
mm-hmm.
ground myself and to connect to something bigger than me, and so I launched that series on Instagram. It's completely like sold out. I still have a few things that I'm moving on to another series where it's about the sunrise in the East Coast and the sunset in the West Coast,
Mm-hmm.
and my first journey out of Los Angeles to go to the East Coast to see my best friend, and my mother. So sort of reclaiming this, traveler and my roots, my East Coast roots, and just the beauty of nature and how it really helped me get out of my, to tap out of the news and all the
Yeah.
drama that was going on and all the ailments in my body because of having COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and tap into nature and disconnect from all that negativity and just sort of like hone in on the moment. And that's the wonderful thing about art is, if you have depression or anxiety or arthritis or, alcoholism or anything, that you can actually escape through art,
Mm-hmm.
music, museums, painting, drawing, watching a movie, using these like healthy escapes, instead of binge eating or
Yeah.
binge drinking or, going out and do something really crazy and risky so I found, expressive art and meditation. So my daily practice as an expressive artist is that I get up in the morning, I say a gratitude prayer to a power greater than me, that is the great not me, and I get grateful before I put my feet on the ground, and then I put on some music, but I usually put on like native flutes or harps or even the sound of the ocean or just some really good upbeat music to get me going for the day. And then I head out to the studio where I do some writing and some drawing, and because sometimes there aren't words to
Mm-hmm.
express what I might be feeling, so I'll do some drawings, and then things just come out and I come up with little drawings, and then they inspire my paintings, and it's crazy.
Who have you found is your kind of like number one audience, or who would you say, or is there, or you just get so many variety of people, because I told you that I'm going through some of the stuff I went through. I started painting too, and I definitely don't consider myself an artist, but I have a whole new appreciation for it. So it could be a variety of people like myself who, I'm not necessarily an artist, but I'm amazed by your work, right? So who do you find is your kind of, audience that is inspired, or is it kind of all over the map?
It's a mixed bag,
Yeah.
but everyone is an artist. And so everyone relates to me. And
Mhm.
everyone, if they go back to their little kid, you didn't have to take an art class to be an artist when you were a little kid, to identify as an artist. Everybody in kindergarten did a cool picture and used all the paint and had a great old time and didn't worry
Mhm.
about what anybody thought of it. They just did their art unapologetically. And so I think the people that relate are people that just are open, and they find something that they relate to and it warms their heart. And a lot of my friends are musicians. I mean, part of my story is that my music was my first love. I came to Los Angeles, chasing heavy metal and the music
Mhm.
scene. And I, played guitar and wrote poetry and wrote music. And so I've got a lot of friends that are musicians, and I love music, so I've found a way to combine the two. So there's a lot of like I play a lot of music with my paintings it's like kind of old rock music. I have a younger crowd that are my sons and my nieces and nephews and their friends, and I've got a lot of women my age. A lot of artists follow me. So yeah, it's a real mixed bag. I'm getting a whole new generation of followers from Instagram Reels, where I'm putting my music with my paintings. So that's been really nice. It's been just such a cool.
What would
Uh,
you tell someone who's chasing their inner artist?
Pardon me.
What would you tell someone who's chasing their inner artist?
Okay, this is what I would tell you: is get a journal and
Mm.
start writing in it. And if anything comes up, um, get messy. Like this is one of my journals I pulled out. So I'll write what's going on, but a little sketch. And this little sketch right here turned into this big, gigantic painting.
Oh, wow.
You
Okay.
never know what's going to happen. But, get a journal out and write your thoughts, but also doodle and paint or throw things at it. Get rid of your perfectionism. Um,
Mm.
Stop
I like,
judging. Let
I'm
go
going
of that stick of judgment. Get rid of it, and be a kid. Let yourself be a kid. And if you want a really good book, it's The Artist Way. And it's not just a book that you read, it's a book that you engage in. And, try all types of media, like mediums, like if you're looking for, a new spiritual practice, you go to all the different temples, you go to all the different workshops, and you find where you feel is right. And so I would just say, try different types of things, and listen to your heart, and it's your own personal journey, so I would just say, never give up. It's your soul, it's your spirit, and it's a connection to that, and you don't have to show your work to anybody if you
and,
don't want to.
and I guess too, the question is, when I'm thinking about and I'm listening to you talk,
Yeah.
I would also imagine that it also doesn't have to be a happy thing you're expressing. It could be a lot of things you're expressing on your art, right? Like sometimes, like I know for myself, some of those moments where we're not happy, right? So they came out, and I think sometimes people think, oh, it has to be a happy moment, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the happiest,
Right. A lot of
right?
my moments, my most successful moments, like the portraits of the healthcare workers, I mean, they were not happy. They were
Mm-hmm.
suffering, and the first one was a self portrait of me right after I got sick, and I was not happy. I was miserable. But that painting did so well in the art community and with people because they can relate to it. People
Yeah.
don't always relate to pretty and nice and flowers and la 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 la. Sometimes they relate more to darkness, and that's why I think it's just and messy and uneven. Sometimes that's even more beautiful. And so I would just say that art doesn't need to be perfect to be loved and enjoyed and related to. And art connects people. And you know, when you get vulnerable enough to share your art, you know,
I'm writing a few nuggets down.
yeah, when you get vulnerable enough to share your art, you share it with other people. There's a connection between the two of you that's really special. And I mean, that's one of the reasons I paint, you know, because of that connection that I get with other people.
Do you
Uh,
find it hard to sometimes, depending on the painting, be vulnerable with the painting and
ask
share?
again. I'm sorry.
Do you find it, you said be vulnerable and be vulnerable with your art. Do you find it hard for some of your pieces to be vulnerable, for you to be vulnerable?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff like in my journals and things like that I don't like. this this is dark. Um, some of them even, you know, have, you know, here's a good one. There's a dark one.
Yeah.
You know, that's just how
That's
I'm
how you
feeling
feel.
that day. That's mine. I don't share that. You know, that's
Mhm.
mine. It's my beautiful after you to the, you know, the day,
Mhm.
whatever was going on. I just needed to get it out, you
Yeah.
know, and, um, you know, this one's a little more pretty and sweet, and but it's vulnerable, you know. And you know, sometimes I'll show it to a friend, or I won't show it to anyone, you know. But
Yeah.
I have these journals, and they're just filled with my feelings and my emotions. And you know, when I was younger, I just didn't have a place to go with those things.
Mhm.
And journaling and doing art, writing poems, and sharing with my closest friends was an outlet. It was a healthy outlet. And, you know, I've taken it to the next level with these big, huge monster paintings and things. But it doesn't have to be that way for everyone, you
Yeah.
know. It can just be really a nice, relaxing hobby that you do. And, you know, you make Christmas cards, or you paint one painting a year and you give it to someone you love, you know, or you write a song and you know, play it at your family reunion or something, you know. But you're creating something. You're part of the creative source and force, and you're allowing something bigger than you to channel through you. And it's the
Mhm.
coolest, it's the best high of human life, if you ask me, than anything. Or even just to watch other people do art. Like, I love to go to shows. I love to go to museums. I love to, you know, go see music. And
And
I
it's a
think,
good way to, you know, to tell us about how, so if you guys have any questions too or comments for Mary Rose, please make sure you're putting them in the question or comments section down there. I'm going to scroll through, make sure I didn't miss anything. Everybody's kind of telling us hi and sending love marks.
hi, hi.
But my question is, oh, community. So building community. Tell us a little bit more about the community. Oh, okay, so let's see. Love how you use art as a total process. Your emotions, thoughts, interacting with the materials that you use.
Yeah. You know, that's like, and you know what, when you do that and you don't try to just copy a picture, or, you know, render something perfectly, you're doing something that's very unique to you.
Mm.
That defines your style, you know. And you can be like the most remedial painter or drawer, but you've got your own style. It's in there,
Yeah.
you know. And if you just let go and just let it come out, and like just really practice that spiritual principle of surrender. Like, I'm just going to do this for fun. You know, I don't need to be the great, like you with your bodybuilding stuff. You started with wimpy muscles like me. And
Mm-hmm.
every day you just went back, like as the beginner, to work them and work them till they got so refined. But it was from doing it over and
Mm-hmm.
over and over and sticking with it and having that practice. And that's what made you great, right? But you're not great in the beginning. You have to start from somewhere, you know. And I'm
And
sure every day was a
that
journey.
vulnerability, right? I think that vulnerability is key in a lot of stuff we do because that was it still is. I mean, I don't know if Melissa's still on here. Not she may not be on here, but she's one of my teammates, and she'll tell you like I am like a timid kitten, like you know, she's got so much sass and sassafras, and I'm still learning how to,
Yeah.
you know, get up because I'm challenging my comfort zone with that. I love it. I've had a great experience, and can't wait to see what's next for me. But to your point, that vulnerability in a lot of things we do is so important to kind of take that leap.
Right. So
What's your experience working smaller versus bigger?
one more thing before I say that, because I want to say something to the effect of your partnership. So I have two artists on here right now, Marty and Elizabeth, and these are other artists that I go to that have taught me, that have, that I follow in their path. Like, they make me a better artist. They hold me accountable. They critique my work. They come to my shows. They haul all the way out here to help me, make it happen. So I think we all need that. And I think that's another thing, if you were to encourage other people to do art, is find someone to do it with. I think, or at least to partner up with, to check in with and share your work with, and collaborate with. That's really, really important. And then the question about small versus big. So I think when I first started out, I was afraid to go big because I didn't have confidence. And as I painted more and more and more, and it started going bigger and bigger and bigger, I found that freed me up. And I feel like I can do so much more when I work big. And I
What do you mean
love
by working big? What do you mean by working big?
well,
Tell me more about that question. And
like
then
this would be
I
a
love working with
smaller
you.
piece. This would be like a smaller piece, and then this one that I have behind me is like 9 feet long.
You literally mean bigger.
And
You
like,
literally mean physically bigger. Okay.
yeah, physically bigger. So
Okay.
painting, I feel like when I paint a bigger piece, I loosen up more. And that's always what I'm looking for. I like loose, free, drippy, messy, work with, whimsical, lyrical kind of work. And I feel like when I work big, I get a little bit more freedom. And I love to work big. It's the only thing I don't like about working big is, um, moving it from, when you want to show it, like
Oh yeah.
transportation.
That's a challenge, huh? I like that Elizabeth says community is everything.
Yes. She's a big part of my community. So, yeah.
Because I think that's important as we express ourselves in whatever we do, right? Like having
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying about my teammate, my bodybuilding teammate, is community is everything, because I couldn't have done it without my coach and her, supporting me, and other people in our team supporting us. So
Right. Yeah. And I think like just my first experience with that was AA. So I got sober like 30 years ago. And
congratulations.
thank you. And that community really helped me to stick with that one commitment to myself, and to love myself more, and to show up for myself. And then through that, I met this amazing therapist. And when you do the steps, you get to the 11th step, and it's all about um, prayer and meditation. So I went to this meditation workshop, and the facilitator took us through a guided meditation, and then we painted. And I just went, my mood improved. I was transported to another place. The painting wasn't great, but it made me feel great, and then we went around and we shared the work with each other and told each other what we saw in it. And it was the most beautiful, intimate experience. I really loved it. So that was my first experience with painting. And I feel like, it stuck with me, and, or I've stuck with it. I don't know, but
what kind of things have you ran up against? Maybe, I don't know if I want to call them obstacles, but just maybe challenges in, expression or vulnerability or painting, or what kind of
yeah,
walls?
I think every artist deals with this, or every just person is an artist. But where you just feel stuck. You don't have any motivation. There's no inspiration. Um, Nothing will come out. You know, and when that happens to me, which it really hasn't happened in years, but it happened like when my marriage wasn't great and I was going through a divorce, and it's usually when I'm like really stuck in a problem and I need to get out. Um, but So what I do is I go back to the artist's way, and it takes
Do
me,
you think that
unblocks me. Yeah.
do you think that it hasn't happened, or you've been better at working through it? So you kind of think that it hasn't happened.
And yeah, I really have had ideas, I would say, for like the last 5 or 6 years. My only problem is I don't have enough time. Maybe if I had more time to paint, I would get all the ideas out, and then
Mhm.
then I wouldn't be inspired. But I feel like, I work a full-time job, and then I have all these ideas and I have all these things I want to do, and I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
That's my only barrier right now. Then that is a quality problem for an artist. But I but when I get stuck and there's nothing to come out, I'll draw. I'll just go out and throw some stuff in the journal and just let something come out. Or I'll go right back to the Artist's Way, and I'll work through that 12-week program in the Artist's Way. Sometimes I'll ask somebody else to do it with me. And the Artist's Way is a journey to unblock your inner artist. So it's of the theory that every person is an artist, and this 12-week program just helps you to discover it,
Okay.
that it's already in there.
Taking more risk in our work as artists opens up and expands us. Don't you agree? I like that, taking risks.
Yeah. And you can take risks in your own studio. You don't have
Uh,
to show everybody your risks. Oh, I follow this great guy, Nicholas Wilton is his name, and he says, experiment. And when you're experimenting, there will be things in there that you love. And take those things that you love that came out in there and move it to the next experiment. And then you just keep developing, and you keep discovering different things that work. And I love that, and I
yeah,
love experiment. I go through an experimental phase always prior to doing a series, where I'm just like, I have no idea really what I'm doing, but I'm playing around with different things.
yeah, I love that. I love the taking risks or experiments. So we've got about 3 more minutes left. So I want to make sure that everybody on here, so make sure you guys are liking, following, sharing, subscribing. Go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to I Am TERRAN Lamp. I want to take this show, my goal for 2023 is to take it to YouTube as well. We also have, this is also, and Mary Rose's episode will be there on YouTube, and it's going to be on Apple Podcasts. So we got all sorts of media. You can see it and subscribe to it. So make sure you're liking, following, sharing, subscribing, all that stuff. So Mary Rose, the last question I have for you in the last 2 minutes. So most people watch this show and they know that I'm the cat lady. So, and you know what they say about cats and curiosity. So what, and this is going to be a good one. I feel like you're going to have a good answer for this one, given what I know of you.
Don't ask me about cats.
No, what are you curious about?
Oh, what am I curious about?
Yeah.
Uh, Gosh, I'm curious about people and what inspires them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious about like what they hold inside of themselves. And I'm curious about myself and how I can become more of who I was meant to be. I'm really curious about my future and what's going to happen next. I'm curious about the world and the people in it, and if we're going to do the right thing. And I'm curious what the right thing might be. So, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think is next for you?
For me, um, I'm going to finish off this series on the landscapes, the sunrise to sunset. And I think what's next for me are big huge, colorful abstract paintings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's sort of how the story of my life up until this point, you know. Um, and I'm in a really good place, so I have a feeling they might be happy paintings.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate your time. I'm going to call you after this. After this. But you are just amazing. I just love talking to you because you give so much hope and peace at the same time, and good energy, good vibes. You know, and you do know that it's okay to be vulnerable and express yourself in whatever form you feel, you know, that touches you. So I think, yes, Mike says, thank you for sharing. Is it, I'm not going to say it right. I don't want to, Mardit or
Marty.
Marty,
Yeah.
come see me in the desert. She or he says. So I just want to thank you for your time and truly
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Please keep creating, keep putting your stuff on Instagram so that we can see all your colorful,
Thanks.
amazing work. And for everybody else, thank you very much for joining us. This is the Taryn Lamb Show. We are here most Tuesdays, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please make sure you are liking, following, sharing, and subscribing. And most importantly, be good to yourself and each other. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks.